Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hard Count Football Podcast Live. My name is Jacob Charnow, leading the next generation of football fans live on the Hard Count Football YouTube channel, and of course, right here on 1252 Sports Chicago. Guys, week 18, last week of the regular season. This is like I talked about last week. Still, right now, there's so many opportunities for teams to sneak into the playoffs, to get better seeding, to get worse seeding. Not a lot of teams are sitting starters today, which means we have some great matchups ahead of us. Even if there aren't any playoff implications involved in these games, we still get to watch football, this is the last week where all of our favorite teams are playing. Only however many teams get into the playoffs. So enjoy it while it lasts, guys, because this week, it flew by. It really flew by like that. It was crazy. In just a little bit, we'll be joined with Harry the Greek to talk about all of these games because, while some of them are, not to say irrelevant, but they have no playoff implications, they're still fun to talk about. You can still make some money off of them nonetheless. And then we have a lot of news headlines to talk about this week, right? Because fantasy's over. We have with Harry, we're going to talk about some coaches, whether he would keep or fire a list of coaches that I wrote down here. We're going to talk about some of these playoff clinching scenarios. This Antonio Brown situation for sure we'll bring up, and our MVP candidates along with Super Bowl favorites. So let's get him in here right now. Mr. Harry the Greek. Harry, how you doing, man? How are you?
It's a beautiful day in Tampa Bay, Jacob. It is absolutely gorgeous today. It's Sunday morning, Week 18, National Football League. 73 degrees, just had a beautiful breakfast. How's the weather up there, buddy?
Today, it's pretty nice out. I don't know.
So do you want to throw me off the show for that?
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll help you, okay?
Friday night.
I'm kidding you. Actually, let me put you in your rightfully deserved seat. Jacob, I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much, man. I feel blessed to be on the show today. It's a great day.
Yes, sir.
And, this life couldn't be better. It's been a great year in football. There's so much parity. I just think everything is wonderful.
Yes, sir. Friday night we got some snow up here in North Jersey, so it's still on the ground. It's nice. I like it. I like when it snows up here. It was whatever. We got a lot of snow, Harry. I'm sure the weather is nice and warm there in wherever you are.
Yeah, West Coast of Florida, buddy. You can't ask for anything better. So, what else could be better than this? I don't know. Let's win some money today. I'm sure you got some good prop bets you like.
Oh boy, do I! I really do. There's a lot of stuff that I like this week. But let's talk about these games first. While we're at it, let's start it off here because we can probably bang through a lot of these. The Green Bay Packers -3 at the Detroit Lions. Points total's 44.5. Everyone's playing for the Packers today, from what I'm hearing. They want to keep that momentum going into the playoffs, because I guess it makes sense. They don't want to give their players 2 weeks off because then you can get a little rusty,
Mm-hmm.
So, Harry, what are you thinking about this game? Because I like the Packers -3.
Well, first off, number one, if they were truly playing all their players, they'd be a 13 to a 15-point favorite in this game.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to start them. How long are they going to play? I guarantee you Vegas knows how long they're going to play, and it ain't for long, okay? Seriously. I say go to Texas in this game. I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all.
Yeah. You're probably right there. I don't know, but if they bring in Jordan Love afterward, I think Jordan Love can still kill the Lions, right?
Really?
Come on. Yeah, I do.
If they play Jordan Love, Detroit wins by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. That team is not equipped. You know what? I shouldn't say that. Maybe 3. I'm kidding you. I hate the Packers.
More than the Lions?
Oh, bro. The Lions? They're like the Cubs. They're the lovable losers.
Yeah. I guess.
Sorry, Chicago fans. Had to say it.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of Chicago,
I know. Fat Mike just took his breakfast drink, and he just threw it at his computer because I just made fun of the Cubs.
We might get taken off the air.
No,
that doesn't happen anymore. All right. The Chicago Bears are +4 at the Minnesota Vikings today. Harry, the Bears. Andy Dalton starting for the Bears today. Points total is 44.5. Any shot that the Vikings with Mike Zimmer, what we're hearing, pretty much done in Minnesota after this game. Matt Nagy, also 2 coaches playing their last games for their respective teams. Who's going to go out with a win?
Oh, the Bears. It's the Bears without a doubt in this game. I mean, I bet this game when the Bears were getting 6.5 points. Hell, man, don't even bother taking the points. Play them on the money line. You're still going to get 170. I got them at 210. I love the Bears today. Absolutely love the Bears. Minnesota's defense is that bad. People are playing for a job for next year for this team. Not only for this team, but they're, especially for Chicago with Akeem Hicks and a couple of other players that are out there. If they're not going to be on this team, they're going to definitely showcase their talents.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I do like Minnesota in this one.
You did last time too.
I do. I like Minnesota today. I watched that Minnesota game last week against Green Bay on Sunday night, and all I could think about was, man, this team is missing Kirk Cousins. Like this, Kirk Cousins, for whatever reason, I'm saying this. Kirk Cousins takes this offense to the level that they produce at that wins games. He does. He's a very efficient quarterback, I'd say. I think if I'm a coach and I'm coming in here to Minnesota next year, this is probably the hottest job, in my opinion. If they do fire Mike Zimmer, this is the most attractive job out of any of the head coaching vacancies that are probably available right now. They have draft picks. They have talent, right? They have a young receiving core. They have a quarterback. They have a couple young pieces defensively. Their offensive line doesn't really need to be rebuilt. I think that's a really attractive job if I'm looking at a team. The Vikings getting Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Jay Jettas is gonna light up the Bears secondary today. Harry, I can't see anything different happening. It's a matter of whether this offensive line holds up for Kirk. I think it does. I'll take the Vikings in this one and let Mike Zimmer go out with a win while Matt Nagy goes out on a sour note, like we all kind of expected him to, right?
That's no. I don't agree with it. I just don't. I mean, I have my separate opinion on that one. I've bet against the Bears plenty of times this year. I've made some pretty large scores. I'm pretty confident on this one. This is something that I really, really have a very high percentage of wins on, are taking underdogs and covering. And it's just a pretty confident game for me this year. For this week, it's one of my better games of the week. Actually, I understand your points, and they were literally, you mirrored the same points the last time that they played each other, and Minnesota squeaked out a victory, didn't cover, and they by all rights should have lost. I mean, let me tell you something. This Minnesota team is a juggernaut on offense when they want to be. I mean, that's a key word, when they want to be.
If you're a Minnesota coach coming in next year, are you keeping Kirk Cousins on the team?
Yeah, you have to, because that team is built to win right now. I mean, you're not going to take a rookie quarterback and manifest them into being a playoff contender, if not a Super Bowl contender, because that offense, with Dalvin Cook and I want to say TJ Hushmanzada because he's on my brain, but he's not playing in the league anymore. But with Jefferson and Thielen and the tight ends that they have, I mean, this team is definitely built. They're a couple of players away in the draft for defense and a couple of acquisitions on the free agent market on defense from being a contender in the NFC. I saw through that this year because everybody was enamored with Minnesota's offense coming into the season. I just said, this team's just not clicking together. And the head coach may be what needs to go for this team. Their biggest mistake was 2 years ago, Jacob, is when they decided that they were going to go ahead and start getting rid of a lot of these defensive players. But that was the fall for them. And by the way, if you like the show, share it. Hit the like button on it. Go ahead and post a comment. Jacob loves when you disagree with him. Me, on the other hand, I hate it.
Yeah, I do love it. I would love to hear I would love to hear all your opinions on Week 18, whether you agree or disagree with what we're saying, because that creates conversation, which is the best form of communication. All right, here we go. Now we have a game with, I guess, kind of playoff implications, Harry. Kind of, right? The Indianapolis Colts, 14 and a half point favorites right now, heading into Jacksonville. Point total is 43.5. the Jaguars have gotten right. This line has gone down a little bit, hasn't it?
It did. It was because
it
it's a division game, bro. I thought this game would be like 16, 17, or 18. I don't know what kind of playoff implications it's going to have. I can tell you this much. What was the
Colts
total?
are winning in.
What's the total in the game?
The Colts have a winning in this one. 43.5 is the total.
You know, that line went down too, and I touted the under in that game. You know, at 15.5 and 16, I like Jacksonville if you can get it. If not, stay away from the game. Indianapolis is supposed to win, but that's a lot of points. But I can tell you one thing. Indy's playing defense, and I wouldn't be surprised you get 2 drives in the first quarter, and the first quarter is going to be gone. I like the under a lot still in this game. It's still 43.5.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at it, the Colts, I can't see a way the Colts don't win the game. I hear everyone, oh, well, look at what Jacksonville's done to the Colts the last however many times they've played. Doesn't matter. The last times don't matter. The Colts are playing for a playoff position here, a team that can very easily make a run in the playoffs with the way this offense is built. The Jaguars have been atrocious, right? They lost by 45 points, more than 45 points last week to the Patriots. So
right.
This also isn't a bounce back kind of team, right? This is we lose by 45 and then maybe we'll lose by 30 the next week. I think Jonathan Taylor puts up 2, maybe even 3 touchdowns in this one. And I think the Colts win this one pretty easy. But it's hard to bet big favorites in divisional games, so I'm probably going to go to Texas on the line here.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I do think if you have to make a play here, I think it does make sense. I don't think Jacksonville's going to have very much success trying to run or even throw the football, to be honest with you. And I know that Indianapolis is going to want to run the football a lot, but do you think they may want to experiment a little bit more and let Carson Wentz get a little more acclimated to throwing the football?
If they're up a lot, maybe I think they're going to do what works until they know they're winning, and then they'll maybe start experimenting or pull their players. That's what I think.
And it's really bad because I'm talking about one of the best teams. This is one of the most dangerous teams in the National Football League this year because they play defense and run the football. I mean, really? I'm going to call it experiment with throwing the football? I don't know.
Carson Wentz is I think he's an efficient quarterback, like you said, when he needs to be, right? He's not going to make the big he doesn't need to make the big play, right? Because they have a running back that at any moment can chip off a 55-yard run for a touchdown, right? He's exactly what this Colts team needed. And I think that he can very easily take this team to a Super Bowl just because of the pieces around him. It would be cool if they had another receiver for him to work with because Michael Pittman, he's great. I think he's a I think he would be one of the best wide receiver 2s in the league. But they could really use a one receiver on this offense, man. That would take this offense to new heights. But we'll see what they do this offseason.
Right.
Whatever. The Tennessee Titans -10 at the Houston Texans, the other 2 AFC South teams playing each other. The points total here is, I don't have it written. Harry, do you have the points total for this game?
Sure do. 42.5.
42.5. All right. So I wrote down the wrong number. And I realized I wrote down the wrong number when I wrote 10 down because I was right in the line.
No, Whatever. It is 10.
No, I wrote that for the points total on my sheet. Whatever. All right, the Titans -10. Harry, the Texans walked in. They walked into Tennessee the last time these 2 teams played, and they beat the Titans. Davis Mills, I don't think he played in that game, did he?
Nope.
That was Tyrod Taylor. But Davis Mills has been, we've talked about this on the phone, Harry, yesterday. Davis Mills has been very, very efficient for this team, right?
Hey, he's the surprise in the draft this year.
Yeah.
Or was he?
Was not a surprise to us.
Nope, not a surprise to us at all.
Not a surprise to us. But, man, Harry, is there anything you like in this game? Are you touching it? Do you like the Texans?
I like Houston in the first half getting 7 points, and I like the under in the game. I'm sorry, the over in this game. I think that Davis Mills and company are going to put up a little bit of a fight. They're going to give them everything that they can handle. I think they're going to score 14 to 17 points alone in the first half. You might get a garbage touchdown at the end of the game, but I like Houston in the first half, and I like over for the game. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay, fair enough. I like that. Man, the Titans have a win. If the Titans win, they get the first seed. Um, they get the first round bye, which is huge for them. Um, I don't know. They're playing for something. Teams playing for something is, they're looking forward to getting Derrick Henry back next week or in their
He
playoff.
could have came back this week, from what I understand, but nope.
But that they don't. I think they would rather have, if they win this. I think they're pretty confident that they can win this game.
Wow,
If they have the
it's a little
bye.
warm out here.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And then if they get the bye, they have Derrick
The
Henry coming back
Bulls.
the week after, all rested, all ready to go for that divisional game. But
How good is this Tennessee team, since you're talking about them? I mean, I talked about with you one time over the air, off the air, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they lose Derrick Henry, and I want everybody to think about this. They have a bunch of nobodies running the football. They even tried Adrian Peterson at one point, and they still ran for 1,000 yards because they committed to do something. Everybody's like, "Oh, they're done. They don't have Derrick Henry. What's the poor court? What's Tannehill supposed to do? I don't know. Play efficient."
yeah,
They didn't have Brown. They didn't have Julio Jones for how many games? And they still continued to roll. This team is really this team is scary good. Very scary.
yeah. They've been in the playoffs for the last 3 years. They made runs in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
I like it. I do like the Titans, and I like the Titans in this game. I like the Titans in the playoffs. But I'll probably go to Texas on this game just because the Texans, they won the last one. They're a big underdog at home. But if I'm being honest, everything I'm saying is leaning towards me taking Houston plus 10.
I like, you know what? I like Houston in the first half. They play very inspired football, as you know. Play them in the first half, Jacob. That's the play, in my opinion.
Fair enough. All right. No playoff implications, but the Washington football team -7 at the god awful New York Giants.
Who
Points
cares?
total is 38. Who cares? Take Washington. I like Washington though.
Next, Washington.
Yeah.
Clean sweep.
Yeah. The Pittsburgh Steelers. This game is going to be good. The Pittsburgh Steelers plus 3.5
Cares?
at Baltimore. The points total is 41.5. Both teams need to win because here, let's see. The Ravens can clinch the playoffs with a win, and then a Colts and a Chargers and a Dolphins loss today.
All right, wait a minute. So the Colts,
If the
the
Colts lose,
Chargers,
one of
and the
these teams makes the
Dolphins
playoffs.
lose, and Baltimore has to win,
Yeah.
they ain't getting in. Next.
No, but the Steelers are in if they win and the Colts lose.
What if they lose? How do they get in?
If the Steelers lose, they need to win.
No, wait a minute. If they lose, can they still get in if Baltimore, if Baltimore wins and the Steelers lose,
Mm-mm.
doesn't a whole bunch of other scenarios have to happen for Pittsburgh not to get in?
It's a win and a Colts loss.
Okay, well, read my lips. Texas, baby. No play. They both stink.
Yeah, I agree. The Cincinnati Bengals not playing Joe Burrow, not playing who older guys. Plus 5.5 at the Cleveland Browns. Points totals 37. Harry, I mean the Bengals offense looks bad without Joe Burrow, but the Browns offense looks bad with Baker Mayfield. So I don't know. Well, do you like anyone? Do you like anything in this game? Yeah.
0.
Yeah. Nada.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
This is the hardest week to handicap in football. This and the first week.
Yeah. No, definitely. Because you don't know. These teams could not say anything and then pull their players a quarter into the game. Whatever. New England Patriots -6 at the Miami Dolphins. Points total here is 40 straight. Do you think the Patriots can cover this game? You think the Dolphins maybe sneak out something over the Patriots?
Texas.
Texas?
I'm going to Texas, Jacob.
You know what I like you know what I do like in this one?
What do you like?
I like the under.
Do you really?
I like the under 40.
Wow. That's strong. Because I thought that number, I mean, because you said like really convincingly that, because I think that number is like dead on. I mean, that's why I couldn't play it.
Yeah, I like the under. Both these teams play defense. I think if Mac Jones plays, I don't think he plays that much. I really don't. I think
Right.
the Patriots, I mean, they're confident they're just going to get a wild card spot. They don't care who they play. It's Bill Belichick. He doesn't care who he plays. The Bills have a game against the Jets today. They'll probably kick their ass. So they're not winning the division. And then the Patriots defense is locks down Tua every time they play. So I think Tua struggles. I think Mac doesn't play that much, and even if Mac does play, I don't see him scoring a lot of points since the Dolphins are pretty good against the run. I'll take the under 40 in this game for sure.
Okay.
Then, like I said, the New York Jets plus 16.5 at the Buffalo Bills. Whatever. The Bills are probably going to beat up on the Jets. The Jets missing Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, half their offensive linemen, Braxton Berrios, a quarter of their defense, and any will to still play football. So I think the Bills walk in and win this one pretty easy. But I do think Zach has a pretty nice day, even with these nobody receivers that he's throwing to. Whatever, or at least I want to see that. But we'll see.
Are you asking my opinion yet?
Yeah.
Make it 3 weeks in a row, ladies and gentlemen. Make it 3 weeks in a row. The Jets not only cover, they make a game out of it. They make a huge game out of it. They will go it. They go into Buffalo, and they are going to play some inspired football. They should have beaten the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the past week.
Yeah,
they should have beaten them. If it wasn't for 2 boneheaded plays that Bruce Arians paid somebody off, they would have won. Okay. I mean, and I don't know that to be factual. I'm only goofing, okay? Because that was my upset of the week.
If there's no miscommunication between the coaching staff on that 4th and 2, and Zach does what he's told to do by the coaches instead of making. All right, so here's for anyone who doesn't keep up with the Jets headlines, which is probably most people.
They don't.
Yeah. So apparently on a 4th and 2, when Zach Wilson tried to do a sneak and get the 2 yards, which looked stupid on TV, and it was a stupid decision. But apparently there was miscommunication between the coaching staff, the offensive coordinator, the head coach, whatever, and Zach, that he was supposed to actually hand the ball off to Braxton Berrios on the end around, where he didn't. But he was told it was an option, but they wanted him to hand it off, and he made the read. Right, the A gap was open. He tried to dive for the 2 yards. Obviously, didn't get it. Gave the ball back to Tom Brady on a game-winning drive.
But that wasn't. But hold on, that was still 90-some plus yards, almost 100 yards. They had to drive downfield, and on 2 of those plays, the moons and the stars all had to come together for that to happen. And then the strong safety is going, "Am I supposed to cover him? Give me a break."
Yeah.
But the bottom line is they still covered. Jets do cover in this game. Take that to the bank. It's one of my upsets of the week.
That'd be pretty cool to say. I'd like to see the Jets be competitive in this game against the Bills. Plus, the Bills probably won't play a lot of their starters for most of the game, right? I can't see Josh Allen playing this whole game. All right, the Carolina Panthers +9 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Points totals 41.5. I think it's it. Something that I didn't realize is that every game this week is a divisional game. I just realized that. I'm going through all these. I'm like, oh, this is a divisional game. This is one. This is one. This is one. Whatever. They're all divisional games. Panthers are +9 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Apparently, the Bucs are rolling their starters out today. The Panthers are bad. They're really, really bad. I mean, they're bad every single week.
They decided they're going to go ahead and keep their head coach, though.
They did. They decided they would keep Matt Rule for whatever reason.
I agree with it.
Fair enough. I don't know. I'm going to Texas in this one.
This is an I don't care game. This is a definitely don't play it game. There's way too much coming out of Tampa Bay. There's way too much drama and locker room bashing going on with the Antonio Brown issue. I mean, from what I understand, the clubhouse is starting to get a little bit smidge divided because they think Bruce Arians could have been wrong. Some people think it was Antonio Brown. The media is really getting involved on it. But then again, when you're the Super Bowl champs, and you have Tom Brady on the team, if you take a poop the wrong way, they're going to report it.
Yeah, you're right.
I would personally stay away from this game. And
Yeah.
you know what? Who else to talk about it better than anybody?
Oh,
I'm going to go ahead and bring somebody in.
all right.
I don't have any walk-up music for him because he doesn't
I might.
deserve any.
I might. No, I
You
can.
do?
I can give him. I can give him some applause. I can give him some applause. Peter, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Doing really, really well. Doing really well.
Awesome, awesome.
We got a lot.
What do you think we were just talking about just now as you popped up?
I'm thinking you were talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's what or the AB situation, which has been the talk all week here in the Bay Area.
A little bit of both. A little bit of both, Peter. So we'll go right to you.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? Just break it down. What are your thoughts on this whole Antonio Brown situation and how the Bucs have handled it? Obviously, how AB has handled it, and whether or not you see AB playing for another team in the future.
I have never seen this in my over 30 years of watching football. It's a complete disgrace. Antonio Brown quit on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers mid-game. He should never play a game again. And the way the Bucs have handled it is the way you have to handle it at this point. He was accusing the organization, of course, of making him play through an injury. We still have not seen that MRI yet. Here's a guy that looks like he wanted to get incentives. He wanted to get guaranteed money from the Bucs. The Bucs, of course, balked at it. And then after that, basically it seems like it was more premeditated than anything else. Does the guy need help? Most likely he does, but the only one that can get that help is AB himself. And at the end of the day, look, it causes a problem for the Bucs, but you would rather have players at the end of the day that want to be on this team and play for Tom Brady and an opportunity to go to a Super Bowl instead of a malcontent cancer to the locker room with AB.
You know what? I got an article I'd like to read you, okay?
Yeah.
And you already know what my opinion is. In the article headlines from Ryan Bershinger from Fox Sports, it says former NFL pros rip Bruce Arians for mishandling Antonio Brown's injury. Plaxico says, I talked to AB yesterday, and I just spoke to him 30 minutes ago. I have nothing but the utmost respect for BA. He was my position coach in Pittsburgh. I know him personally, and I know how hard he is to play for him. He's an alpha type mentality for a coach. What bothers me the most about the whole situation is that he can sit behind a microphone and tell the public that he didn't know Antonio Brown was injured, which is implying that Bruce Arians is a liar, by the way. Okay.
Well, and look,
hold on. I'm going to read the rest of this. That's a bunch of baloney. If you get an MRI done during the week, the training staff and the doctors report directly to the head coach. He knew that man was injured before he stepped on the football field. Number one, he's now implicating, telling him somebody was what they were thinking. Hey, I watched Judge Judy. I know my crap. His deltoid is torn off the bone, which needs surgery. The MRI tells you that. We know the protocols of the NFL players as far as the injuries are concerned. The head coach is notified first. Also, other notable mentions, LeVar Arrington and TJ Houshmandzadeh and Plaxico Burress. Those are some really credible people there. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. I don't look at the end of the day.
I had to say it.
Bro, no, I mean, but the story was told from the AB situation from BA that he was never notified. He never notified the medical staff. You have to go through the proper NFL protocols. BA never said he didn't know about the injury. Of course he didn't. He knew about the injury because he allowed AB to miss practice Thursday and Friday. The Bucs have been very careful when it comes to injury situations. Gronk, SMB, Carlton Davis, they usually give him a couple extra weeks because they care about the players. So this whole deal of, well, the Bucs, they don't care about injuries. They force you to go play. No, AB wanted to play. He wanted to earn his incentives. And you could see more than likely
he wanted to impress that porn star was what he wanted.
Well,
that's what we're hearing now.
Can I lick a toilet seat?
Sneaking women into his hotel room. And listen, it's not the first time that an NFL player has tried to sneak a woman into a hotel room, right? We see it every year. The Seahawks did it last year.
Sure.
But this is the first time that I've ever seen anyone try to sneak anyone in who tried to lick a toilet seat and actively had COVID, right? This is, and then telling her to watch what he's going to do against the Jets.
Correct.
And then gets half naked and storms off the field. Right?
Yeah.
It's unheard of. It was I was watching the game, and I'm obviously I'm split screening the Jet game along with the Red Zone, and I'm watching the Jet game, and I don't have sound going on for the Jet game because I prefer listening to Red Zone, but I'm looking at the Jet game and I'm like, oh, there's a streaker on the field.
I said the same thing, didn't I, Peter?
You did.
And I went, wait a minute, isn't that Antonio Brown? And Peter says, quote unquote, oh, that's pregame. And I went, that ain't pregame, bro. That's live.
I thought it was pregame. I thought they were going back to pregame.
Or we're gonna go old school. Is that live? No, it's Memorex.
I'm looking at him like, oh my God, that's a streaker. And then, oh my God, I think that's Antonio Brown. I think, and I'm watching with my girlfriend, and she's like, did he just quit? And I was like, I think so. I think
here, guys, you ready?
I think he just quit.
What's this mean? Anybody know?
Off with your head? You're done?
No, you're done, Antonio. You're done. That's what Bruce Arians supposedly did. Get the hell out of here. You know what? I'm going to go full screen because I am going to tell people what I think about it, and I want to put this narrative to bed. I'm really sorry. Look, you can say whatever you want. CTE, whatever it is. The guy needs an old-fashioned ass whooping. That's what Antonio Brown needs. He needs someone to go in there and beat the living breaks off of him. He's a punk. He's done this. And first off, in the city of Pittsburgh, they were the culprits who started this. Because when someone loses their first and last name and you give them initials, AB, that's a problem. This should have been nipped in the ass 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Here, do I need to remind you? T.O. Okay, I can go on with a list of people. People have names for a reason. It's nice to use nicknames every once in a blue moon, but it goes to the player's head. Could he have CTE? Yes. I don't believe it was from the Vontaze Burfict hit, okay? I don't believe this is the why he's been acting out. Look, great football player, Hall of Fame numbers, still one of the best route runners in the entire National Football League. And I apologized to you and said the Buccaneers made a mistake to bring you into this team when they first brought you last year. I had to publicly go, hey, man, I'm really sorry. I really made the mistake because I thought it was a problem. No, you're the one that needs to apologize to the NFL fans, Tampa Bay, Chicago, Pittsburgh, and everybody who else has ever been rooting for you as a fan. Go off into the sunset and leave it alone. Have a great day, Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I don't think it was the Vontaze Burfict hit that caused whatever is going on with him. You look at his draft reports, there's a reason. I mean, he fell to the 6th round. It was character issues upon character issues upon character issues.
No, but it's convenient. You know, it's CTE. I'm really getting annoyed.
It's a pattern of behavior at this point. I mean, he's quit on teams before. He's not paid for things before, and he's done that before the hit.
Yes.
So, and I look back at it and I was like, you know what? He's done the same thing over and over again. That's the one thing that's been consistent. Not only his great play on the field, but also his allegations off of it. And it's disappointing. And at the end of the day, I just feel like he's a punk. And,
yeah, for sure.
And he's a guy that spit in the Tampa Bay organization's face, in the Tampa Bay fans' face. And of course, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady. When he goes on the podcast later on in the week, he's talking stuff about Tom Brady. Well, you know, Tom Brady only likes me because I'm a football player. He's friends with you, but he's the one that actually stuck his neck out on the line and let you come and live with him. And you want to talk stuff because you're not getting the attention that Gronkowski is. Well, I want to tell you something. Tom Brady is not going to force feed the ball to you because of your incentives or because of your ego. Tom Brady's going to do what's right for the team and do what's right for the matchup. And that's the reason why he's the greatest of all time, period.
Great insight.
Thank
so,
you.
Peter, who do you like in this game? Because we are allocating way too much time, and this is exactly what he wants. Because the more publicity he gets, whether it's negative and me calling him a punk or someone saying it's CTE, this is exactly what inflames it. You know how I wish the NFL and the media would treat this? Like they treat a petulant child. Okay, that's the way. If a kid is cursing who's 2 years old and he's going around screaming the F word all over the place, true story. I was at my brother's house up in Chicago. His youngest one, we're sitting there, we're eating dinner. My godson, Max, is yelling F, 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 and he's screaming. And I'm like, Who's going to smack the kid across the face? My brother says, if you ignore it, he'll stop. If you give it attention, he will continue to say the word. So let's treat him like a pendulum child. Ignore it, make no more comments about it, move on. Antonio Brown will be forgotten about, just like they did for 1 year when he didn't play. That's all I got to say.
All right.
Yep. Peter, you want to stick around to talk about some of these other games here? Because there's some exciting ones, and we have some cool coaching stuff. All right. The Saints minus 3.5 at the Atlanta Falcons today, the other NFC South matchup. The points total is 40. The Saints have a playoff scenario, right? If they win versus Atlanta and the Niners lose, they sneak into the playoffs. And for the Niners, it's the other way around. If they win, so the Saints actually need both. The Saints need to win and the Niners lose. The Niners just have a win and in, or if the Saints lose this game. The Falcons have been playing relatively inspired football the last couple weeks, right? They kept it close versus Buffalo last week, who's a very good team. The Saints are certainly up and down. I could absolutely see the Falcons taking this game. There's a reason it's only 3.5. Taysom Hill starting at quarterback. Man, I think the biggest loss for, I want to say any team besides maybe Derrick Henry this year was Jameis Winston getting hurt for the Saints, because they were 5-2 without him, and they've been bad with. They were 5-2 with him. They've been bad without him. What do you guys think about this game? You guys like the Saints minus 3.5? You guys want to go to Texas here? What are you thinking?
Oh, I think I'm going to go to Texas on this, but if I'm going to like somebody, it's the Atlanta Falcons because of Hill starting at quarterback. He's been inconsistent, and you're exactly right. Coming into the season with a Jameis Winston, people would laugh, but 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions at 5-2, albeit limiting the passes. That's what you have to do with the Winston. You have to have a running game. I think Atlanta wins this game in an upset. If I'm betting on it, I'm going to Texas, but just straight up, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons.
Fair enough.
I'm going to tell you exactly what I said. I'm going to say the same thing I said on the over-under on Friday evening with Peter Blake. Atlanta beat them. I had them upsetting New Orleans back in New Orleans as one of my upset specials of the week, and it was one of my games of the week. I'm not as confident this week as I was then. However, I do like Atlanta on the money line. Forget the points. You can get better returns out of it. So we have a clean sweep Atlanta. Definitely not going to Texas on this game. I like Atlanta.
Like Atlanta on that. All right.
Fair enough. The Seattle Seahawks plus 5.5 at the Arizona Cardinals. The NFC West is still up for grabs, not between the Seahawks, but between the Cardinals and the Rams. The Cardinals need a win and a Rams loss. The Rams just need to win, and they take the NFC West. The Seahawks and the Cardinals are always competitive. The Seahawks last week came out, they destroyed the Lions. 1 week they'll look great, 1 week they'll look awful. Pete Carroll, we'll talk about that in just a little bit when we talk about these coaches, but he's on the hot seat for sure. His future there is uncertain. You guys like the Cardinals? You guys like the Seahawks to cover, maybe not win? What are you guys thinking?
What do you think first, Jacob?
What do I think? Man, I like the Seahawks to cover this 5.5. I don't think the Cardinals play all their starters for the whole game. I think that and even if they do, I think the Seahawks play inspired. I think the Seahawks do cover the 5.5, but I think the Cardinals win the game.
Great point. Peter?
Yeah, I like the Cardinals in this game, and I agree with you. I think the Seahawks do cover, even though they don't have anything to play for, but Arizona needs this game really bad. If they can win this game, they have a possibility of winning the NFC West, and, that alarm in the background went off. So go to you, Harry.
That was Harry wanting to tell everybody, I'm going to Texas in this game. It's a careless game for me. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me to see Seattle to win this game outright, but it's not a game to bet, gentlemen.
Yeah. These last 2 games we got to talk about. These are going to be competitive. These last
one of the next 2 games is my game of the week.
I think I know which one it is. I think I do. I think it's this next one here.
I do too.
I'm gonna say. All right, let's talk. So the 49ers are plus 3.5 at the Los Angeles Rams. Jimmy G playing hurt today. Rams have a win, and they win. They take the NFC West, Harry. I'm going to guess. I know how much you love the Los Angeles Rams, so I'm going to say your lock here is the Los Angeles Rams minus 3.5.
Let's go to Peter Blake first.
Sure.
Well, I'll say this. The last 4, the 49ers have won the game, and just because I'm a little bit biased to the fact of I'm not the biggest Rams fan and not the biggest Matt Stafford fan this year. I like the 49ers with the upset. How about that? Betting purposes, I don't know if I'm betting on it. I'll go to Texas on it. But the 49ers, I like to see them win, of course. So the Bucs can get the second overall seed in the NFC. So I'll go with the 49ers. And then on top of it, look, it's been kind of a matchup with, the Saints dominating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The 49ers have dominated the Rams the last 4 times. I'll go to the show me state. Show me something, Rams. Can you get over that hump with the 49ers? Of course, the Rams used to play in Missouri, St. Louis. So there you go.
That's a really good analogy.
I like the I know if I pick the Rams, it's gonna bite me in the ass because I do. My gut is telling me go with the Niners because they've just been. I mean, they've beaten up on the Rams every time they've played them. But I'm never a guy who lives in the past. I hate that. I can't say, it's hard for me to look in the past and say, oh, well, they won their last 4, blah, 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 because they're different teams, right? There's different teams, different guys playing. Cam Akers, I think, is playing today for the Rams. Man, I think I'll take the Rams in this one. I think I'll go with my brain over my my gut, and I'll go with the Rams.
Gentlemen, there's nothing to think about here. Listen, I had another fabulous year in the National Football League. I wish everybody could just give me a hug, especially the people that have stuck by my side and bet with me. I have given some tremendous upsets this year on the money line that were +5 and 600.
Here, I got something for you. You ready? Here it goes.
Hang on. Opa. Learn something, Mr. Jacob, because here it comes. Opa! It's close to Jewish music, wouldn't you say, Jacob?
It's close enough.
Yeah. There's 2 people in this world, Jacob. You'll understand it. Greeks and people who want to be Greek.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Anyway, in this game, I have given everybody this year many really, really good picks. And I've given you some bad picks, too. I'm not going to just hang my hat on it. Okay. And I'm not going to talk about my percentages because apparently it rubs people the wrong way. If you've been following my picks, you'll know exactly how I've been picking. I've been on a heater now for the past 4 weeks. It's almost mind-boggling. The Rams are going to show the world why they are the best team, not in the NFC, but in the National Football League. They are this year's version of last year's version Buccaneers. Sorry, Buck fans. I'm very sorry about it. That defense will come together. You will see a different defense. San Francisco has a better chance playing with a backup quarterback in this game than they do with Jimmy Garoppolo. So please, everybody, ask me why I feel that way. Go ahead.
Why do you feel that way, Harry?
Because Jimmy Garoppolo is playing with a broken bone in his throwing hand. This is a coaching decision disaster for this team. And that's just going to propel Matthew Stafford to throw not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 touchdown passes in this game. Garoppolo will cough the ball up and give it to the Rams defense on short fields. Listen, hopefully there's propositions out there. Not once, but twice. He's going to throw 2 picks in this game. San Francisco's going to have to run the football. I like a side. One team's going to pass the ball. The other team's going to run the football. Rams. I think small, big.
I think if the Rams are going to win this game, they're going to run the ball down the Niners' throat with Cam Akers. I think with him back, if they're going to win, that's going to be the way they do it, Harry.
And I meant to say this. The Rams will trade touchdowns for field goals all day long. I'm telling you, Jimmy Garoppolo is not the answer. By halftime, he won't even be playing.
Well, you went all LeBron on us, so we'll see how that works out because the last time LeBron did that.
LeBron, you're not allowed to say LeBron on this platform when I'm wearing this beautiful shirt. I'm wearing this beautiful shirt.
Well,
I know. But look, the Bulls,
Gonna fool
not
me.
the New Jersey, not the Brooklyn Nets, okay? The Bulls, not the Lakers,
I
the
get it.
Bulls.
But you went all LeBron.
Nah, nah, Malaka.
Not
Here,
three.
right to you. Nah. You know what nah, Malaka means?
Now, I don't know what you said, but I'm.
I hate to get theatrical like that. No, but seriously, that is my game of the week. And I have to get a little theatrical because I really, really like this game. I am waiting just like you are, Jacob, and just like the rest of the country is waiting. When is this team really going to come together? If they don't beat the brakes off this San Francisco team today, even though the line is saying it's supposed to be a close game, I'm going to categorize this team like the Washington Redskins were when they got Albert Hainsworth and Daniel Snyder bought an entire team. Okay. And they don't win this year, this Ram team is done for the next 5 years because they can't afford to keep it and they have absolutely 0 draft picks. Any opinions on that?
I mean, look, they went all in on this, and they did this a couple of years ago, and it got them to the Super Bowl where they decided to lose to Tom Brady and the Patriots 13-3. So You're exactly right. I mean, they've gone all in with their draft picks. They've gone all in with their resources. And if you don't win this year, and to tell you the truth, after Stafford had the start that he had to the year, he's come back down to earth. I still don't have faith that he can get them over the top, but we shall see. And that defense hasn't played up to, their billing. You got Aaron Donald, you got Von Miller, you've got Floyd, you've also got Jalen Ramsey. Why aren't they shutting teams out? Why aren't they, winning more impressive?
You're not allowed to say 2 of those names for the sake of Harry the Greek and Jacob Charnow. One's Leonard Floyd, the other one's Jalen Ramsey. You're not allowed to say those 2 names on this show.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and before we talk about this last game,
hang on. Peter's Russian girlfriend made an appearance. She left him a message.
Oh,
there you go.
Right.
That means I love you, I guess.
I think so. That sounds accurate. But before we move, let's stray away from football here because let's move into the wondrous world of boxing. Right? Of boxing, but not really boxing. I guess boxing media, because for those who haven't been on the internet in the last month, your very own Peter Blake right here on my show right now.
I have something here. Would you like to see it?
Would love. Go full screen. Go on. Go full screen to Peter for a second.
Yes, sir.
Because Peter, did that Rolex come in? There it is, right on the wrist from Jake Paul himself, the one that Tyron Woodley is probably wearing right now as well.
Yeah.
And Peter, tell us how much that cost. Tell us how much did that cost you? Just one question.
One question about if he was going to give his next opponents Rolexes, and he said, after I put him through trauma, I got some tricks on my sleeve. Well, Harry's got the clip. We'll come back and talk about it. Harry, you want to play that clip?
Sure, I'll play the clip right now. Is that okay, Jacob?
Mm-hmm. Jake, is your signature going to be give the next fighter Rolexes? Because you kind of called your shot. You said it's time to knock you out, Woodley. Are you going to continue to do that with some of these fighters you're going to fight?
I mean, I feel like I have to give them gifts for the trauma I put them through. But, yeah, maybe. I got more tricks up my sleeves, and I guess, I don't know. Do you want a Rolex? I can get you one.
Sure, I'll take it if you want.
I'm going to get him a Rolex. Will you get his email? All right. What's your name?
Peter Blake.
Peter Blake. You're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
Look really good with a Rolex on.
Sounds good. I need to upgrade.
I'll have Nikisa hit you, and I'm gonna get you the same one I got Tyron.
Sounds good.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Wow is right.
Well, there it is, and there's the Rolex. It came in, which that's nuts. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Peter, I was watching that. The way I found out was I woke up the next morning and I'm scrolling through TikTok and I'm like, oh, and it's like it's on ESPN and it's like Jake Paul offers a reporter a Rolex, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a pretty interesting video. I'm interested in what Jake Paul does all the time. and I'm like, oh my god, and like I sit up in bed and like that woke me up that day. I was like, what? I said a few 4-letter words. I was like, how the what? How did that happen? And I showed my dad, and my dad was like, what? And it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a crazy story. And it came in, and that clip, I mean, for no exaggeration, that clip went viral on TikTok, on YouTube. It's nuts. What's been the response to that on your end?
Oh, I mean, I didn't get any sleep that day, that night, and I was trying to call people at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Neither did I.
No,
Just for the record.
No, you definitely didn't get any sleep. We were talking about it, and I was trying to actually call somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning, but you realize, look, everybody's sleeping at that point. But then when it did hit TikTok, people were like, you went viral. I'm like, what does that mean? And they were like, everybody knows who you are. And I had gone through the comments and saw, hey, I'm Peter Blake. And I said, really? You're Peter Blake? No, you're not. I'm Peter Blake. They're like, oh my God, you're responding. I'm like, yeah, why not? I'm going to respond to you. It's pretty funny. So just the whole reaction's been crazy. And when the assistant called the show, the sport.
Oh, can I play that one?
Please go for it.
I think this is hilarious. Now, this is how Peter found out about it. But you also have to understand that this is on my show. No, this was your show. This was the Sports Web.
Yep.
Right. This was the Sports Web. And when the calls were coming through, you just got done talking to me, Sador. And what was really funny, Jacob, is when I heard the first phone call, I was like, I was a bill collector. And I went, click, hold on. No, that was the guy offering him his Rolex. And I was in a position of saying, I got to do something to make this funny, because if this ever makes it back to Jake Paul, he's going to think this is hilarious. But here you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the funny one.
Sador, let me go ahead and get you out of here. We got another call here. I don't know who this is, but thanks a lot for the call on the evolution of sports talk television. All right.
Y'all have a good night.
All right. I don't know who this is. Welcome to the evolution. Your name and where you calling from? Okay.
That was that bill collector. That was the guy trying to give you your Rolex.
Right. That's not who it was at all. You idiot. We're on the Sports Web live on NSPN. I love St. Pete. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry the Greek, 1252 Chicago Sports. He's calling in again. So
let me give it a shot for you.
Yes, go ahead. Welcome to the Sports Web.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Welcome to the Sports Web.
How's it going?
How are you doing? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Marcos calling from Miami.
Okay, Marcos, what do you have to say about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or do you want to talk about something else?
No, I was looking for something else.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Thanks for calling the 1-900 number. My name is Harry. How are
Would you shut up and be quiet?
Shut up!
You're calling a sports talk show. You know that, right? So what do you want to talk about, Marcos?
I was looking to call out Peter.
This is Peter.
Marcos, Jake Paul's assistant.
Oh, are you serious?
Told you.
Wait, is this live right now?
This is live right now. This is
way.
This is crazy.
This is crazy.
Yes, it is.
Told you.
Crazy.
Wow. Okay,
Sorry.
so let welcome to the evolution. I swear to God, we did not plan this, but of course the story was about the Rolex situation. Jake Paul, I interviewed him, asked him a question about Rolexes being given to fighters. And he said, you know what? Do you want one? And I said, yeah, sure. Not thinking he was going to do that. So
that's crazy. I just got your contact from Nikisa, Jake's manager.
Okay.
I wanted to follow up. So we have Rolex ready to go. And I was calling you to contact you what the best shipping address was. So whenever you get the chance.
I'll tell you what, Peter, why don't you go ahead and take that, make me full screen, pull yourself out. I'll go ahead and talk to the audience. It'll take you less than a minute. And I think that's awesome.
I think it is awesome too. Thank you very much for calling. Let me go ahead and get to you. Harry, let me go full screen here. Stand by.
That was funny.
That
was funny. But I was in a position that I was like, I just got to try to make this funny somehow. So the first thing I seen was my cat. I throw his ass right up into the camera. I mean, a lot of people, I got a lot of emails from that going, really, Harry? But I have to disclose, there was no animals hurt during the show.
Yeah. None at all. And again, we had no idea that it was going to be his assistant that was going to call the Sports Web. In fact, I wasn't even going to go live that night, but Harry's like, yeah, you got to go live. Let's go live. All right, we'll go live, because I didn't get an ounce of sleep at all. I did a watch party because we had a primetime game that following day after being up until 3 o'clock in the morning.
The stars and the moons went like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. All right. we got a Sunday night game to talk about. The Los Angeles Chargers. I think this is so the playoff situation here is whoever wins this game makes it into the playoffs, right? Or if the Colts lose, both these teams can get in.
What?
And, yeah.
So the Jaguars, yes. If the Colts lose to the Jaguars,
both these teams can get in.
Yep.
If they kneel it out and tie. It's not going to happen.
Wait a minute. So if the Jags win and these two teams decided to kneel it out and tie 0-0 or whatever it is, they both in?
Enough.
What?
If they both decide that they hate the Colts enough to get them out of the playoffs at all, then, or the Steelers, no, it would be the Steelers actually. I don't know. Either way, if they both want to make the playoffs, they can kneel out this game for a tie if the Jaguars win.
could you imagine that? That would be amazing in itself.
That would be bigger news. Then we stop talking about AB.
Yeah, that would be how it happens.
I would want to stop talking about AB. Can I go first in this game?
Either way, the Chargers are -3. They're heading into Las Vegas. Harry, you can go first.
Go to Texas. This is a game for viewing pleasure only, especially if Indianapolis loses.
Man, that would be hilarious, wouldn't it? If I'm gonna bet this game, I'm betting it after the 1 o'clock.
I'm gonna bet a draw. I want to bet a tie. I want to bet the under. I'm
gonna tell you what the odds.
I will mortgage the house on the under.
I'm gonna tell you what the odds are on a tie. I'm gonna find it because
you're not gonna find it.
No, I think that's a thing.
No. Give me 10,000 to 1 right now, and I'll put $100 on it right now for all of us. Opa.
Yeah, I think I would pass on this game too, honestly.
No, I don't like the game. I'm going to Texas on this. This is a who care games for me.
Straight up, I would take the Raiders.
But I will tell you this: if Indy loses, this
Bet
is
the
a
under.
definite must see.
Bet
the under. Bet the under. It is a definite must watch, must see game.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Yeah,
I got a comment in here, Jacob.
Sure, let's bring it in.
Oh, it's your buddy.
It is.
Hump Day 391. Have a question about the Giants. Do they stick with Jones for next season?
We'll talk about it.
Look for a quarterback
right after this game. We're talking about it right after this game. Next question: is Brady coming back next season at 45? Yeah, I think so. Right? He'll come back another year, right, Peter?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially if they win another Super Bowl and he can go for 3 in a row. Absolutely, yes.
I seen Bruce Arians do this to Brady too.
Sure.
Just saying for a friend.
All right. I'm taking the Chargers. I think the Chargers. I would love to see the Raiders in the playoffs this year, just with everything they've dealt with, and like to see them still get into the playoffs, facing all that adversity. But the Chargers, they're just. I think they're just the better team, man. Right?
You would think, but I would go with the Raiders, honestly, with what this coaching staff has done and Rich Bisaccia getting this team ready every week with all the distractions off the field. The Chargers, to me, are too inconsistent. And we keep on saying it week after week. You got the better team. You got the better quarterback. You know what? It's going to come back and bite them tonight. It's going to be the Raiders' time. Raiders win, and they go to the playoffs. How about that?
That'd be cool. I'd love to see a Raiders game. If I'm taking it, if there's a team if there's teams I want to see in the Super Bowl, man, it's either the Colts or the Bengals. Those would be two cool teams to see make a run. And then in the NFC, I don't know. I have no idea. There's no cool underdog stories in the NFC, right?
Tampa.
Yeah.
Bucks.
Yeah. I'm happy I'm not an NFC fan.
Tom Brady.
Actually, I want the Eagles. I want to see the Eagles at the Super Bowl. Screw it.
No, come on.
Screw it. 17 versus 17. Let's run it up. All right. So those are all the games.
Get out.
I want to talk a little bit about this. So I have a list here of coaches. I have 6 coaches. We're going to go through. We're going to say whether you would keep them, you would retain them for another year, or you'd fire them off into the sun. Some of these are pretty obvious. Some of them maybe not so much.
I got the sound effect for this too if you want it.
I would love that.
Okay. Absolutely.
I would love that.
Okay.
The chopping block? Yeah, there it is.
Well, I got this.
Screw you! You're fired!
That's perfect. I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. That's the best one. Let's do it.
Okay.
Everyone needs a little bit of Vince McMahon in their life.
Exactly.
First one. We're on 1252 Sports Chicago. Why not? Just for the sake of the pleasure of Harry. Matt Nagy.
Who?
Yeah.
He's not gone yet?
No, he's fired.
Peter, you're up.
Yeah.
Screw you! You're fired!
Absolutely should be fired. What are you talking about? There's not even any discussion at this point. It started with the Browns game. You bring in a rookie quarterback and have no plan at all. You should have been gone that day. Matt Nagy should be
Screw you! You're fired!
gone tomorrow. See you later.
But
Yeah.
but they're going to keep Ryan Pace. So
No,
Jacob,
I'm hearing no. I'm hearing no on Ryan Pace.
I'm hearing they're keeping him. They're going to
Oh,
elevate him in
boy.
his position and make him director of all football operations. And Mr. Jacob Charnow, how do you feel about that?
I don't feel very good about that at all. I think Matt Nagy, and I haven't played this for anyone besides the Jets head coach app before this year for the previous team.
Adam Gase? You talking about Adam Gase?
But I'll play it for Matt Nagy.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Because it's just gonna the next 20 minutes of the show are just gonna be me and Peter exchanging soundboard sounds. Yeah. That's the equivalent to that. That's what I got.
How about this one?
That's also I need to update my soundboard. We got some. All right.
How about this one? How about this one? You ready?
Yeah.
Well, you dropped the ball. What is your name?
I told you.
It doesn't matter what your name is!
And that's how the Bears front office should approach him. What's your name? It doesn't matter. Matt Nagy, you're gone. See ya.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the whole front office should be gone too, but whatever. All right. We got the New York Giants next.
Oh, geez.
No Judge. Apparently, they're going to retain him for another year. But it looks like Gettleman's gone. But if you were the Giants GM, are you bringing back Joe Judge for another year? And while we're at it, because the question was there, are you bringing back Daniel Jones for another year?
Can I go first?
You're fired!
That's not fair, Peter.
I'm telling you, you need to clean house. Get rid of Gettleman. Get rid of the coach. Start over again. Get yourself a new quarterback. You have all these high draft picks at this point. I mean, where are you going with Danny Dimes? Nowhere. You don't even have a dime in your pocket to spare. Seriously, fire the coach, fire the GM, start over again. Let's go.
Terry, you're up, and then I'll go.
I say keep him. I really do. I like the position that the New York Giants are in. It's lovely.
That's blasphemous. That is blasphemous.
If you're a New York Jet fan, you want to see Joe Judge and Danny Dimes in there. That's why I'm saying this for the sake of all the gangrene fans out there. Keep them both. And you know what? Better yet, you don't need Danny Dimes. Really, you need the smartest quarterback ever play in the National Football League. It's Napoleon Dynamite himself. And Peter Blake,
geez.
who was that?
Yeah, Mike Glennon.
You start Mike Glennon for the next 3 years, you're going to set history in the NFL. You're going to go winless, 0-36, and you'll have 3 consecutive number 1 overall draft picks that you can trade for multiple picks. And then by the time Jacob is 80 years old, you might win a division. Jacob?
Yeah, listen. Here's my thing with the Giants, right? I'm firing Dave Gettleman. I'm firing Joe Judge because if you don't fire Joe Judge, the next GM hire becomes in-house, and then you have trouble. If Joe Judge sucks next year, then the GM is going to have to fire the guy that just brought him in, and there might be a bias there. I think you clean house. My problem with getting rid of Daniel Jones is who are they going to bring in, right? Who are they going to bring in? You can target someone in the draft, but you don't have to pay Daniel Jones anything more than his rookie contract.
They have a capable backup, buddy. He's QB1. He showed the past 2 weeks. He's great.
Jake Fromm. You got Jake Fromm. I tell you right now, if you
let me tell you something. I love Jake Fromm.
Well, I'll tell you right now, he hasn't done anything. But if you want to go after a big name, I've thrown this out there for Chicago Bear fans. Jim Harbaugh, he supposedly is interested. And
go there.
You try to get Russell Wilson to come to the New York Giants. I think they have some time there.
My problem is that this Giants team is young, and the assets you would have to trade away to get Russell Wilson would be too much for this team. My question for you, Jacob, is this. If Russell Wilson was to truly go to the New York Giants,
would there be a possibility
don't even
of
say it.
seeing you wearing a blue jersey?
No.
Yeah, because we know you have a man crush on Russell
There's
Wilson.
no way. You couldn't catch me dead in a Giants jersey.
That would be like Tom Brady going to New Orleans. Peter Blake would say, "Viva New Orleans."
Say nothing at all.
Yeah, I think. All right, so here's my thing. I've heard a lot of people say Marcus Mariota, but the Raiders aren't giving up Marcus Mariota. He's an asset there now. He's really worked into this offense. He's a major piece to this offense that use him a lot in the red zone. I doubt they let him walk, right? So who are you going to bring in that's better than Daniel Jones, right? If you're going to do anything,
Mike Glennon.
If you're going to do anything, keep Daniel Jones another year. Draft a guy like Kenny Pickett with the 5th or 7th pick or wherever you're sitting. And then you can let him develop or let him sit behind a year. See if Daniel Jones is really that bad. Let him play for some trade value, I guess. And let this coaching staff, this new coaching staff, new GM come in, work with the young quarterback, get settled in New York because it's a hard city to coach for. And get this team back on track to where it is with a young quarterback in Kenny Pickett. Because on top of that, why not? We're getting rid of everyone. Get rid of Saquon Barkley. How is this even a debate? I know Giants fans who want to get rid of him. There is zero logical explanation for keeping Saquon Barkley, for paying him that top running back money when Devontae Booker, a guy who was back up to Josh Jacobs last year, is playing arguably twice as good, maybe 3 times as good as Saquon is, while Saquon's getting 15, 16 touches a game, just not finding the holes. I don't want to hear about this Giants offensive line because we've seen running backs with worse offensive lines do a lot better. I'd love to see Saquon go and get another chance somewhere else because I do think that he's solid, but there's no reason to pay a running back big time money when you have so many other holes to fill on this offense, right?
Saquon Barkley is going to be the comeback player of the year next year.
He's not able to stay healthy. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing about it. It's disappointing because the potential is there. We've seen the potential. He could be a player in this league that's fantastic, but the problem is he can't stay healthy at the end of the day. So
yeah,
I don't think you can get rid of him.
And even if they don't want to bring in a quarterback in the first round, right? You look in the second round. There's a chance a Malik Willis could fall into the second round, who I love, the kid out of Liberty, right? Sam Howell, who I'm not as high on, but he's certainly a solid quarterback.
Yeah.
You could definitely develop him. Listen,
I think you're right, Jacob. I think we're all right here. I think they need to draft a quarterback, but honestly, they really need to leave Napoleon Dynamite there for the next 3 to 4 years so that he can mentor a young and upcoming star. This will assure Giant fans that you will have the best draft capital in the next 5 years.
Harry, how about this? I'll be real. Giants fans, you've gone through enough. Listen, we'll give you Mike White for 1 first rounder and maybe a 3rd.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
We'll give you Mike White for maybe a 1st and a 3rd. Okay, I think that's fair.
How about you?
If you pay a fortune, listen, that's a good point. You pay a fortune for season tickets, and that's the product. It's ridiculous. All right, the next coach here, because we got to get rolling. Pete Carroll of the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, this one's a juicy one. You keep here, Peter. You go first on because
he's retired. He's going to retire. He's
69,
70 years old. I think he's going to retire. And Russell Wilson, that divorce between that organization is going to take place in the offseason. I don't think they can save that relationship. So I would expect Pete Carroll to retire, not be fired. But you know what? We'll play it anyway.
Screw you! You're fired!
And I think he's seen his best days. Pete has nothing to prove. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won a national championship in college football. Yep. So I think he retires off into the sunset. Happy trails.
Fair enough. Harry, what do you think?
Well, there's rumors and speculation that Bruce Arians is done this year and Pete Carroll is next on the up list for Tampa Bay Buccaneer job.
Has Pete Carroll won a national championship? He has, hasn't he?
I think he did with USC, or he was a runner-up, a bridesmaid, I think. I'm not sure.
I know he didn't beat Texas, of course, in the Vince Young game. I have to look it up. I thought he won a national championship.
Yeah, in my opinion, I'm probably going to fire Pete Carroll.
He's done. He's fired.
He doesn't retire. they should let him go.
Who else are they supposed to let go? Is it Zimmer?
You're fired.
I mean, we got all right. So next up, I think this is the first one where we might all be like, no. We've heard that he might be. I know Harry's opinion on this is going to be. He's going to have a strong opinion on this.
I don't never have a strong opinion. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? You guys act like I always have a strong opinion.
We've heard a possible one and done over there in Houston with David Culley. Are you giving David Culley another year, or are you going to hit the reset button again in Houston?
Who are you asking?
We'll go. Harry, you go first.
Okay, I'm going to go first on this one. Of course, you hit the reset button and let the guy coach. For God's sakes, you can't even name 4 players on the entire team, other than the steal of the draft, Mr. Davis Mills. Okay, you do have to give him another year. Let them go ahead and develop it, because you know what? You might get something for a particular quarterback, Mr. Deshaun Watson, and you develop something through the draft. And if they're smart and they keep Coach Lovie Smith on that defense, they'll be a top defensive unit next year, a top 10 defensive unit next year. My opinion, I think you should keep him. I think he's done an extraordinary job this year with very few games that they've won with subpar talent. Peter, you have to agree with me, right?
I absolutely agree, to tell you the truth, because I don't know why my phone is ringing at this point. I agree with you on that. I don't think you can go one and done. They have shown heart with all the distractions with the rookie quarterback. At the end of the day, they're playing, above their head, in my opinion. And Pete Carroll did win 2 national championships, 2003, 2004. So there you go with USC. So yeah, I definitely think you do keep him. At this juncture, I don't think it's a one and done. And I actually see some good things coming out with the Houston Texans. Of course, they've got to figure out that situation with the Deshaun Watson. And I don't know if that's figured out this year. In fact, I think he's suspended. I don't think he plays this year either.
Hey, gentlemen, just to let you know, we're T-minus 4.5 minutes. My computer's shutting down. It's not because I wanted to. It's saying so.
Fair enough. We'll kill these last 2. We'll combine them. Mike Zimmer, Matt Rule. Vikings and Panthers, I think they both should have been gone. And for people, Mike Zimmer's already gone. I think we all agree on that. But what Matt Rule has done, and I don't want to hear the excuses, oh, he's had no quarterbacks, because he's tried to evaluate 3 or 4 quarterbacks and he's failed on all of them. So I don't want to hear anything about Matt Rule. I think Matt Rule should be fired. I think he was a miss, and I think they need to, once again, reset in Carolina and bring in a new coach to work with whatever quarterback they want to bring in next year, because it looks hopeless right now in Carolina.
Hit the button. Hit the button, Peter.
Screw you. You're fired.
And our buddy. And our buddy Troy Polamalu says, catch us live today at the bar.
Shut up.
That may be in the future. Who knows, right, Harry?
That could be definitely in the future. You know, Troy, I'm starting to like you, Troy.
I wonder who Troy is. That's what I want to know.
Oh, I already know who Troy is. He doesn't know that I know who he is.
I think we know. All right, Peter, I'm going to let you get out of here before Harry's computer shuts off. Go ahead, tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, it's the evolution of sports talk television. It's the Sports Web, Monday and Wednesday nights live on I Love St. Pete. And, of course, the over-under on Friday nights with that guy right there, Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, 1252 Sports in Chicago. Do 3 things on this Sunday morning. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Your Rolex reporter.
Oh, that's the nickname right there. That's a good one. All right.
The Rolly. Peter, have a great one, buddy. Hey,
Appreciate
Peter, if you're not here in 20 minutes, I'm making you buy breakfast, so you better get your ass in the car and get going. Let's go.
See you later, my friend.
See you, brother.
All right, Harry. You too. Go ahead. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Generally, where you can find me is sitting right next to this young man right here. This is Mr. Jacob Charnow, University of Syracuse. Gonna be something in this industry. Super proud of him. Born and raised in New Jersey. Great family, great person. But where you can find me, 1252 Sports, Friday evening. 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, where we're breaking down and giving you our best picks of the week with my co-host, Mr. Peter Blake. And as I always say, Jacob, Keep your bets low and your returns high. It's been a fabulous season. Cannot wait to talk to you for playoffs. God bless you, little brother.
Next week,
Stay
brother.
good and keep everything going good. You take care of yourself.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, and most importantly,
yeah,
go Bears.
Yeah. All right, guys. And with that, we're going to wrap today from the Hard Count Football Podcast Live. My name is Jacob Charnow. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. Special thanks to Peter Blake of the Sports Web for coming on. I love having him on. To Harry the Greek, as always, for coming on, talking all these games with me. Guys, the next time I see you, next time I talk to you, we will be 2 playoff games in. We'll have more playoff games on the slate. I'm very, very excited. Go follow me on Twitter at Jacob Charnow, Instagram at Hard Count Football. Guys, check out the Hard Count Football Podcast Live every Sunday morning right here at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Central. Enjoy Week 18. Catch all the other shows on 1252 Sports Chicago. There's a lot going on here. It's very exciting time to be working here. I'll see you all next Sunday morning.